Chapter 1 of The Adventures of a Suburbanite. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Adventures of a Suburbanite by Ellis Butler. Chapter 1 The Prawleys. Isabel was born in a flat, and that was no fault of her own. But she was born in a flat, and reared in a flat, and married from a flat, and, for 2 years after we were married, we lived in a flat. But I am not a born flat dweller myself, and as soon as possible I proposed that we move to the country. Isabel hesitated, but she hesitated so weakly that on the 1st of May we had bought the place at Westcote and moved into it. The very day I moved into my house, Millington came over, and he said he was glad someone had moved in, because the last man that had lived in the house was afraid of automobiles, and would never take a spin with him. He said he hoped I was not afraid, and when I said I was not, he immediately proposed that we take a little spin out to Port Lafayette as soon as I had my furniture straightened around. I thought it was very nice and neighborly and unusual for a man with an automobile to begin an acquaintance that way, but I did not know Millington's automobile so well then as I grew to know it afterward. I liked Millington. He was a short, Napoleon-looking man with bulldog jaws and not very much hair, and I was glad to have him for a neighbor, particularly as my neighbor on the other side was a tall, haughty-looking man. He leaned on the division fence and stared all the while our furniture was being moved in. I spoke to Millington about him, and all Millington said was, "Rolfs? Oh, he's no good. He won't ride in an automobile." At first, while we were really getting settled in our house, Isabel was bright and cheerful and seemed to have forgotten flats entirely, but on the 10th of May I saw a change coming over her, and when I spoke of it she opened her heart to me. "John," she said, "I am afraid I cannot stand it. I shall try to, for your sake, but I do not think I can. I am so lonely. I feel like an atom floating in space." "Isabel," I said kindly, but reprovingly, "with the Millingtons on one side and the Rolfs on the other?" "I know," she admitted, contritely enough, "but you can't understand. Always and always, since I was born, someone has lived overhead, and someone has lived underneath. Sometimes only the janitor lived underneath." "Isabel," I said, "if you will try to explain what you mean." "I mean flats," she said dolefully. "I've always lived in a flat, John, and there was always a family above and a family below, and it frightens me to think I am in a house where there is no family above me, and not even a janitor's family below me. It makes me feel naked, or suspended in air, or as if there was no ground under my feet. It makes me gasp." "That is nonsense," I said. "That is the beauty of having a house. We have it all to ourselves." "Now in a flat—" "We had our flat all to ourselves, John," she reminded me, "but a flat isn't so unbounded as a house. Just think. There is nothing between us and the top of the sky, not a single family. It makes me nervous, and there is nothing beneath us. Now, my dear," I said soothingly, "China is beneath us, and no doubt a very respectable family is keeping house directly below." Isabel sighed contentedly. "I am so glad you thought of that," she cried. "Now when I feel lonely, I can imagine I feel the house jar as the Chinese family moves their piano, or I can imagine that I hear their phonograph." "Very good," I said. "And if you can imagine all that, why cannot you imagine a family overhead, too? The whole attic is there." "Very well. I give up the entire attic to your imagination." Then I kissed her and went into the back garden. My opinion is that the man that laid out the back garden was over-sanguine. I am passionately fond of gardening, and believe in back gardens, but at the present price of seed and the present hardness of hoe handles, I think that back garden is too large. This is not a mere flash opinion, either. It is a matter of study. The first day I stuck spade into the garden, I had given little thought to its size, but by the time I had spaded all day, I began to have a pretty well-defined opinion of gardens and how large they should be, and by the end of the 3rd day of spading, I believe I may say I was well equipped to testify as an expert on garden sizes. That was the day the blisters on my hands became raw. The day after my little conversation with Isabel, I returned home from business to find her awaiting me at the gate. She wore a bright smile, and she put her hand through my arm and hopped into step with me. "John," she said cheerfully, "the Prawleys moved in today." "The Prawleys? Who are the Prawleys, and what did they move into?" I asked. "Why, how do I know who they are, John?" she said. "I suppose we will know all about them soon enough, but you can't expect me to learn all about a family the day they move in. And as for what they moved into, of course there was only one vacant flat." "Flat? One vacant flat? What flat?" I asked. I was afraid Isabel was not entirely herself. "The one above us," she said, and then as she saw the blank look on my face, she said, The
Sample complete. Ready to continue?